500 in the Pacific Northwest. Well, one of the very first things that happened to this was I cracked the Parcel shelf, and it was right about here. It was kind of drooping down. I'll throw up a picture with Sophie in the background. And I did a fix for it. I went and got a length of wood and used some Gorilla Glue and some clamps and put it on the underside of this. And here you can see where it cracked right there with just the slightest pressure. This is not heavy duty material by any means, but with that length of wood in it, it gives it a certain bouncy rigidity, and I feel like I can bump up against it, and this length of wood will reinforce this entire flimsy thing. So that was my fix. Another thing I've done with the car is get as much dog proofiness as possible. I got this this bench protector from Creature Comforts over here in Milwaukee, and if you saw my previous video, you may have noticed that I was going to put bucket seat protectors on, but I decided no, I didn't really want Sophie up here, so I traded those in, and Creature Comforts had this this barrier that attaches to the headrests, and I haven't got it adjusted quite right. There's also, it attaches to some sort of hardware there, but this has been really great. Sophie's got her little place, and I've still got the boot in the back. And about the only other bit of news I have on the Fiat 500 is news about this missing lug. And this wheel was on the front wheel when I first bought it, and actually a neighbor fellow noticed that there was a missing lug. So the Fiat dealer down the road said, well, we're gonna have to replace some bit in there. But then I took it to Olsen Brothers just down the road. I really trust those folks. Talked to Tracy in there, and he said that the lug bolt was sheared off there, and they were able to get it out, but it was sheared off. And one of the reasons is because this is not the right bolt size. It is a 4x100 bolt size, and Fiats need a 4x98. Now, you can fit in a slightly off size wheel with wobble bolts, but I don't want to go that route. So I have got some new wheels coming from Germany because stock wheels are quite expensive. So this is what the car looks like now, and in a couple of weeks we'll have some new wheels on. I think it's going to look pretty darn sweet. There's something else I've added in. I don't know if you can see this, but this is a Bluetooth receiver in USB form, and you can plug it in there, and it has an auxiliary 1/8" output, and there's an auxiliary jack right here. So, and I've got a little 12 volt with a couple USB outputs on it, running up to my iPhone, and I can listen to me podcasts again. I'm quite tickled about that. Actually, let's turn this on. And by the way, this is, I think, the most impressive instrument cluster I have ever experienced. I think it's just a beautiful way to display information. Let's listen to a podcast. What the heck is playing right now? A
lot of different numbers that every author is convinced is accurate.
Yeah, that's my mentor Till.
Kind of survey when I wrote my
in his
book.
new podcast, The Thinking Practitioner.
0.2 millimeter up to 8 millimeters of translation.
Sitting here in my new to me 2012 Fiat 500 Pop. I had to do a little bit of work to it, like the new wheels and fixing that Parcel shelf in the back. But otherwise, man, this is just the cleanest car I have ever been in that's used. Gosh, did folks even drive in this thing? I mean, it has 56,000 miles on it, and it's just near pristine. I couldn't be tickled. And I love that there's just all this bright colors, and like, look at those seats. That's pretty darn cool. Just everything in here is rad and in a 500. There's a few reasons why I really enjoy this car. One, I'm getting likely 50% better gas mileage here in town than in my old Subaru Outback. It was a 2000. It was nearly 20 years old, that thing, and in need of some upcoming repairs. And it just made more sense to sink a little that down payment money into this car. And this was really the fourth Fiat that I looked at. This is a fable of four Fiats this week on Milwaukie Makers. And I'd looked at four of them. The first one I looked at was a 2013 Fiat 500 Turbo, so 135 horsepower, and it was kind of this orangey rust color, and it just looked so freaking cool. But dang it, it had a hard time shifting into third and fourth and couldn't find it. So that was not the right one. That was potentially, $1,500 in clutch work, or more. So not the right car. The next one I looked at, I just wanted to get, just an idea. I wanted to find another manual transmission, so I found a Fiat 500 Pop out in Beaverton at a dealer, and it was all scratched up. It had all kinds of dings in it and some really raky scratches, and the back struts that hold up the hatch wouldn't hold up the hatch. And yeah, that's a relatively easy fix, or maybe $15-20 each, but it didn't feel like the right car. But it did confirm to me that, like, I am not just a clumsy shifter. That Turbo 500 was just a little off. Then my third was, I looked at a little red Fiat. It was just about 1.5 miles from home over on McLaughlin, and it had some aftermarket bits on it, some way to play with the accelerator, and I don't know, it just had some modifications, had some fog lights that were put on afterwards, and not in a very professional way. Drove just fine. These cars are 101 horsepower and 98 foot-pounds of mighty torques, so they're not particularly powerful. But what kind of powerful car do you really need these days? I don't know of anyone who really utilizes the capabilities of their cars, and I come from having a couple Ford Mustangs in my world. I started off with a 1968 Mustang Coupe that was candy apple red with the black vinyl top, and I put mag wheels on it, and it had a straight 6-cylinder engine in it. Not very powerful, but oh man, to a teenager, that was just a beautiful ride. Later on, I had a 2005 V6 4-liter Mustang, and I threw a Vortex supercharger on that, and put dual exhaust and 3.73 gears on there, and took it to the drag strips, and won a second place trophy in the alumni races out there, doing bracket racing. That was unexpected. I lost to a car with a parachute. That's no shame in that. So I feel like this Fiat is getting back to my automotive enthusiast roots. I've had a couple Subarus, and I had a Ford Escort back in the day. And those weren't very exciting cars. I mean, the Subarus are great because they'll just run forever, and they can go through anything with that all-wheel drive. Fantastic. It's a reason why they are the unofficial car of the Pacific Northwest. But this feels like my last hurrah with petrol engines. I feel like we're really going towards electric cars and renewable resources, and we need to find a way to get us down the roads efficiently and not use so many fossil fuels, and we can sure lessen our carbon footprint. given a little chutzpah and research and investment. And it'll actually turn out to be far better for the planet and everything. When we make that switch, like we're not using steam so much in our ships anymore. We're not, there are times that our power usage has changed over time through the years, and we're human beings. We get more efficient. So I'm having tons of fun with this Fiat 500. I ordered the wheels, and now I've got to source some lug bolts, for the right size. So I've been asking around the forums and seeing what's gonna fit and be an affordable price, because I've spent a little extra money on this car so far. I wasn't really expecting to have to buy the wheels, but just like my Qualisport Volador electric folding bike, when something goes wonky, I've customized it, and so it feels really cool. Like this 500 is really, really stock, except for those wheels, and someone should not have put those wheels on. And that's okay. I get to throw my own wheels on. It was totally fun shopping for wheels, so I can't wait to show those to you. And Olsen Brothers is going to help me put those on, and we're going to use the same tires that are on there now, which are not the stock tires either, but I don't know, they felt pretty good. But I really haven't been driving very swiftly. I've been taking it pretty easy here in town, just basically going to and from work on these rainy, cold days, and doing some errands out in the world. So I've barely been driving it until I get the wheels sorted out and lug nuts all around. Then we'll take it on a proper road trip, and we'll bring you all along for the ride too. Well, until then, this is Hamid. Stay creative. I am out.